reports of pickpocketing. You fit the description.
I didn't take anything.
Then why were you standing near people's bags?
He hasn't left my side.
Ma'am, I'm talking to him. Funny how it's always your type standing nearby when something goes missing. It's always the same type hanging around when wallets disappear.
That's profiling.
Body cam captures the echo of heavy footsteps across polished mall tile. Weekend traffic steady. Bright storefront lights reflecting off glass. Families moving in and out of shops. Shopping bags rustling. Normal. Until the officer's voice cuts through it. Where is he? The camera swings left. Mall security points toward a bench near a clothing store. There, red hoodie. The body cam angle steadies as the officer locks onto a small figure. An 8-year-old boy. Sitting beside his mother. Sneakers not fully touching the floor. Pretzel in one hand. Juice cup beside him. Laughing about something small. Innocent. Unaware. Before we go any further, comment where you're watching from. Let's see how far this documentary travels. The officer doesn't approach casually. He approaches fast. Authority in his stride. The camera shakes slightly with each step. He stops directly in front of the boy. Stand up. The child looks up, confused. His mother straightens immediately. Excuse me? I said stand up, the officer repeats, sharper. The boy stands. Slowly. What's going on? The mother asks. The officer ignores her. We've had reports of pickpocketing. The words land heavy. The boy freezes. I didn't. And you match the description, the officer cuts him off. The mother rises fully now. What description? Black male, red hoodie, around 8 to 10 years old. Silence. That's the description. That's not a description, she says calmly. That's profiling. The officer kneels slightly toward the boy. Not gently. You've been reaching into people's bags? The boy shakes his head quickly. No, sir. You think this is funny? I just went to get napkins, the boy says, voice small. Uh-huh, the officer mutters. That's what they all say. The mother steps closer. He was 3 feet from me the entire time. Ma'am, I'm talking to him. You will not question my child like this. The officer exhales sharply. You people always get defensive. Several shoppers turn. You people? She repeats. You know what I mean. The boy inches closer to his mother. The officer notices. Step away from her. The child hesitates. I said step forward. The boy obeys slowly. What exactly are you accusing him of stealing? The mother demands. A wallet. From who? A shopper reported someone reaching into her purse. Did she identify him? He matches the description. You already said the description was his race and clothing. You calling the victim a liar? I'm calling this reckless. His posture stiffens. Watch your tone. My tone is controlled. Your kid fits the profile. What profile? The officer ignores the question. You got anything in your pockets? He asks the boy. The boy shakes his head. Empty them. He's 8, the mother says sharply. Empty them. The boy pulls out a napkin. 2 coins. A small toy car. Nothing else. Turn around, the officer orders. For what? The mother demands. For officer safety. He's 8 years old. Turn around. The boy looks at his mother. Eyes watering now. It's okay, she whispers. Stay calm. The officer suddenly grabs the child's wrist. Hard. Gasps ripple through the corridor. Don't touch him, the mother shouts. He's being detained. For what? She fires back. Suspicion of theft. You have no probable cause. I don't need a law lecture from you. You're not handcuffing my child. He stole a wallet. He did not. You don't know that. I was right here. You people, you'd always think your kids are angels. Her jaw tightens. Remove your hands from him. The officer tightens his grip instead. Stop resisting, he says. He is not resisting. The boy starts crying softly. I didn't take anything. The officer reaches for his cuffs. Metal clicks loudly. You are not putting cuffs on an 8-year-old, the mother says through clenched teeth. Step back or you'll be detained too. For defending my son? For interfering. Interfering with what? A stereotype? The officer leans closer to her face. You people always escalate. You people, she repeats again. You heard me. Phones are fully raised now. Mall security stands awkwardly nearby. The officer forces the boy's arm higher. The child winces. Stop hurting him. Then tell him to admit it. He did nothing. He matches the suspect. There is no suspect. I saw him near bags. In a mall full of bags. Suspicious behavior. Based on what? He doesn't answer. Instead, he mutters, kids like him start young. The air changes. Shoppers whisper. The boy is trembling now. Still accused. Still gripped. Still treated like a criminal. And the officer still believes he's right. Still believes suspicion equals guilt. Still believes the narrative in his head matters more than the evidence in front of him. But what he doesn't realize is that this confrontation, this language, this forceful grip on a child's wrist, is about to collide with someone who understands the law better than he understands power. Because the woman he just threatened is not just a mother. And the camera, recording on his chest, is documenting every second of his mistake. The officer still has the boy's wrist in his grip. Tight. Too tight. The child's face is red now, tears streaking quietly down his cheeks. I didn't take it, he says again, voice shaking. The officer doesn't soften. You keep saying that like it makes it true. The mother steps closer. Let him go. Ma'am, step back. You're hurting him. He shouldn't have put himself in this position. He didn't put himself anywhere, she fires back. He was sitting with me. The officer straightens, still holding the boy. You know what I see every week? He says loudly enough for nearby shoppers to hear. Your type acting surprised when consequences show up. A wave of murmurs moves through the crowd. Your type? She repeats. You heard me. My 8-year-old is not a type. He fits the pattern. What pattern? Kids wandering, getting bold, testing limits. He stood up for napkins. That's what he told you. That's what I saw. You don't see everything. She steps directly in front of him now. And you don't see anything except what you want to. The officer shifts his stance. Body cam angle dips slightly with the movement. You people always think we're targeting you, he mutters. You are targeting him, she replies. No, I'm responding to a complaint. From someone who left. Doesn't matter. It does matter. He gestures toward the corridor. There's been pickpocketing in this mall all month. And you assume an 8-year-old is running a theft ring? He ignores the sarcasm. Criminal behavior doesn't have an age limit. The boy sniffles. I just got napkins. The officer leans down closer to him. Then why was someone yelling about their purse? I don't know. Convenient. The mother's voice sharpens. You are projecting. I'm investigating. Without evidence. Evidence develops. Not from imagination. The officer's jaw tightens again. You people always think you're smarter than the system. And you always think we're guilty before proof. That lands. He doesn't respond immediately. Instead, he pulls the boy's arm slightly toward him. Where were you exactly? By the trash can, the boy whispers. Your bags? People were sitting there. Answer the question. I was by the napkins. You hesitated. He's 8, the mother snaps. He's lying. He's scared. He wouldn't be scared if he had nothing to hide. The crowd grows thicker. Phones clearly recording now. Mall security shifts nervously. The officer notices the cameras. Instead of backing down, he doubles down. You want to make a scene? He says to the mother. You're making it. You're interfering with an act of detention. You're detaining a child with no victim. Victims don't always stick around. Convenient. He exhales sharply. You know what always happens. We try to do our jobs, and your kind turns it into a spectacle. My kind? You people. You keep saying that. Because it keeps being true. The temperature shifts. Even security looks uncomfortable now. The officer finally pulls one cuff partially out, metal glinting under mall lights. The boy recoils slightly. No, please. Stop resisting. He is not resisting, Sweather shouts. You're teaching him not to respect authority. I'm teaching him not to accept abuse. He steps closer to her. You think I don't know how this goes? A complaint comes in. Kid matching description nearby. Parent jumps in, accuses racism. You are being racist. I'm being thorough. You're being reckless. You're being dramatic. The officer scans the crowd again, looking for validation. He finds none. Instead, he sees phones, witnesses, eyes. You know what? He says suddenly. Maybe if your type disciplined your kids more, we wouldn't be having this conversation. That line lands heavy. The mother's composure cracks just slightly. You will not speak about my child like that. Then control him. He was sitting. He was scouting. The word hangs. Scouting? She repeats, looking for opportunity. He is 8. That's when it starts. The boy's breathing is shaky now. He keeps repeating quietly. I didn't take it. The officer tightens his grip again. Where's the wallet? I don't know. You think I'm stupid? No. You think I don't see how your type moves? The mother steps forward again. Let him go. Or what? She doesn't answer that. Not yet. He leans close to her face. You want to escalate this? I can escalate this. You already have. He signals to security. Clear some space. Security hesitates. Officer. Now. The crowd shifts slightly backward, but they don't leave. They keep recording. The officer looks down at the boy again. This is your last chance. I didn't take anything, the child sobs. The officer stands firm. Then explain why someone screamed about their purse. Because people panic, the mother says. Because bias exists. He shakes his head. You always blame bias, and you always ignore it. He looks around again, then says something colder. It always happens like this. What does, she asks. Your type, public place, something goes missing and suddenly nobody knows anything. The implication is clear. The crowd hears it. The camera records it. The officer still believes he's in control. Still believes the narrative supports him. Still believes pressure will force confession. But what he doesn't realize is that the pressure isn't breaking the child. It's building a case against him. Every word, every coded insult, every unjustified escalation. And the moment that flips this entirely is seconds away. Because the woman he keeps dismissing has not yet revealed who she is. And when she does, this small confrontation won't just be about a wallet. It will be about misconduct, bias, and consequences that travel far beyond this corridor. Body cam keeps recording. The officer still has the cuff half drawn. The boy is crying openly now. Crowd thick. Phones steady. All security frozen between loyalty and liability. The mother finally straightens completely. Not emotional. Not yelling. Just controlled. Measured. Officer, she says calmly, remove your hands from my son. Not happening. Remove them. Not until I resolve this. She reaches into her handbag slowly. The officer immediately stiffens. Hands where I can see them. She stops. Keeps one hand raised slightly. Calm. I'm retrieving identification. Don't make this worse. She moves deliberately. No sudden motion. Pulls out a slim leather credential case. Dark. Professional. She opens it. The body cam catches the flash of a gold seal under mall lighting. Federal insignia. Official crest. Her voice doesn't rise. My name is Angela Brooks, she says clearly. I am the elected district attorney for this county. Silence. Not subtle silence. Heavy silence. The officer blinks once. He doesn't let go of the boy immediately, but his grip shifts. Less confident. Ma'am, that doesn't... It means, she continues calmly, you are currently detaining a minor without probable cause. Crowd murmurs ripple. Phones lift higher. Mall security steps forward slightly. The officer tries to regain footing. I responded to a complaint. From a person who left. He matched the description. A description that consisted solely of race and clothing. That's still a match. No, she replies evenly. That is profiling. The officer's jaw tightens. You think flashing credentials changes the facts? It clarifies them. She steps half a step closer. You placed hands on my child. He's being detained. For what specific evidence? He hesitates. Body cam captures it clearly. I observe suspicious behavior. What behavior? Near bags. In a mall. He was hovering. He was getting napkins. He hesitated answering. He is 8 years old. The officer glances around. The crowd no longer looks uncertain. They look aware, watching, judging, and recording. The power in the corridor shifts visibly. You're overreacting, he says finally. No, she replies. You escalated. You're making this political. You made it personal. His grip finally loosens. The cuff slides back into place. Metal clicking as he retracts it. He releases the boy's wrist. The child immediately runs into his mother's side. She wraps one arm around him. Protective. But her eyes never leave the officer. You repeatedly use the phrase, your type, she says calmly. He doesn't answer. You suggested criminal tendency. No response. You implied habitual behavior. He shifts slightly. Body cam dips with the movement. I'm doing my job. Your job requires evidence. I had reasonable suspicion. You had assumption. That's your opinion. It will not be just my opinion. That lands. The officer glances at the phones. The witnesses. Mall security. The hallway cameras. You don't intimidate me, he mutters. I don't need to, she replies. She turns slightly so the body cam captures her face clearly. I will be requesting full preservation of this footage. The officer's posture changes again. Subtle. Less aggressive. You can file a complaint. I will. She steps forward just enough to close the distance without threat. You attempted to handcuff an 8-year-old based on race and proximity. I didn't handcuff him. You tried. Silence. You told him kids like him start young. No denial. You told me, your type always escalate. He looks away briefly. That's on record, she continues. And now you're being recorded by more than just your own camera. She gestures toward the crowd. The officer inhales slowly. Damage control mode activating. If there's been a misunderstanding, this was not a misunderstanding. It was an investigation. It was bias. The crowd murmurs agreement quietly. The officer scans the corridor again. The authority he walked in with? It's gone. Replaced with exposure. The boy clings tighter to his mother. She kneels slightly, whispering reassurance, then stands again. You are dismissed, she says calmly. His eyes flash. I'm not dismissed. You are no longer detaining anyone. He hesitates. Because she's right. There is no victim, no wallet, no evidence, only footage. He finally steps back. Not dramatically. Just one step. But that one step changes everything. Because for the first time since he approached, he is no longer in control. The narrative flipped. The power shifted. The real issue exposed. It was never about a wallet. It was about assumption, pattern thinking, bias disguised as policing, and the body cam captured it all. If you're enjoying this documentary so far, like and subscribe, because what happens next isn't just a complaint. It's consequences that follow him back to his badge. Body cam keeps rolling. The officer takes another step back, then another, not retreating dramatically, just recalibrating. But the shift is obvious. Mall security finally speaks. Officer, if there's no complainant and no recovered property, we'll need to clear the corridor. Translation. This is over. The officer nods stiffly. Fine. He adjusts his vest, straightens his posture, tries to reclaim authority through body language. But authority doesn't return, because everyone just watched it collapse. Phones are still up. People whispering. Some shaking their heads. Some stepping closer to the mother. Are you okay? A woman asks quietly. She nods once. Her son is still holding onto her coat, breathing uneven. The officer avoids eye contact now. Mall security escorts him several steps down the corridor. The body cam captures him, muttering under his breath. This is ridiculous. But it's quieter now. Less confident. Because the narrative is no longer his to control. That night, the body cam footage uploads automatically to the department server. Time-stamped. Audio clear. Every your type. Every implication. Every attempted cuff. Every escalation without evidence. By morning, 3 separate videos are circulating online. Different angles. Different voices. Same moment. An officer gripping an 8-year-old's wrist. An elected district attorney stating clearly, "This is profiling." By noon, the department issues a statement. Internal review pending. By 3 p.m., the mayor requests clarification. By 6 p.m., the chief of police calls an emergency press conference. Because once a district attorney is involved, it's no longer just optics. It's liability. The footage is reviewed in full. No edits. No context removed. The phrases stand out in transcript form. Your type. Kids like him start young. You people always escalate. Fits the pattern. Each one underlined. Each one paired with timestamps. The attempted cuff on a minor without probable cause is highlighted. The lack of a complainant is noted. The absence of recovered property is documented. The officer is placed on immediate administrative leave. Badge surrendered. Firearm logged. Access card disabled. 2 days later, formal suspension. Pending investigation for improper detention. Excessive force on a minor, conduct unbecoming and racially biased language. Civil rights attorneys begin preparing statements. Because while the mother is the district attorney, she is also a parent. And this crossed both lines. The next morning the boy asks quietly, "Am I in trouble?" She kneels to eye level. "No." "Why did he think I stole something?" She pauses. Chooses her words carefully. Sometimes people see what they expect to see, not what's real. Was I bad? No? Then why did he grab me? She exhales slowly. Because he was wrong. That's the part that matters. Not the suspension. Not the press conference. Not the trending clips. But the correction. The child learning he was never the problem. The investigation expands. Review of past complaints. Patterns begin emerging. 3 previous warnings for language. 2 informal counseling memos. 1 prior civilian complaint, dismissed for insufficient evidence. Now there is evidence. Clear. Public. Recorded by his own equipment. 30 days later, termination. Official wording. Violation of departmental standards and conduct inconsistent with community trust. The union attempts appeal. Fails. Because the footage speaks louder than arguments. The mall returns to normal. Shoppers come and go. Security adjusts patrol patterns. Life moves forward. But something shifted. Witnesses who recorded that day learned something. Mall security learned something. The department learned something. And most importantly, an 8-year-old learned something. Not about fear. Not about submission. But about standing still when someone else tries to define you. The body cam captured more than misconduct. It captured a moment where power assumed it was unquestionable. And was corrected. Bias exposed. Authority challenged. Consequence delivered. Accountability didn't come from shouting. It came from documentation. Because when assumption meets evidence, evidence wins. And that's how one reckless accusation in a mall corridor ended a badge, sparked policy review, and reminded a community that suspicion is not proof, and a child is not a type. The end.